At the start of this Easter week, we join Jesus in John chapter 14, and he is preparing for his own death. Jesus was deeply troubled, and he told his disciples, "I tell you for certain that one of you will betray me." They were confused about what he meant, and they just stared at each other. Jesus' favourite disciple was sitting next to him at the meal, and Simon motioned for that disciple to find out which one Jesus meant. So the disciple leant towards Jesus and asked, "Lord, which one of us are you talking about?" And Jesus answered, "Look, I'll dip this piece of bread in the sauce and I'll give it to the one that I'm talking about." And then Jesus dipped the bread and he gave it to Judas, the son of Iscariot. And at once, Satan took control of Judas. And Jesus said, "Judas, go quickly and do what you've got to do." No one at the meal understood what Jesus meant. Jesus was preparing for his darkest hour, and he chose God's will. You know, 44 years ago today, at 6:01 p.m. precisely, Martin Luther King Jr. was shot dead. This is a national holiday in America. And the night before Martin Luther King died, he spoke with extraordinary prescience of the likelihood that his life might be cut short. And he concluded his sermon by saying, "I just want to do God's will." As followers of Jesus, walking with Jesus in this Easter week, we're called to do God's will even when it hurts. And so the question I must ask myself as his follower at the start of Easter week is this: am I willing to do God's will even if it costs me my reputation, even if it costs me my ego, even if it costs me the people, the places, the things I hold most dear? As we look at the passage again, I want you to notice the theme of friendship. Jesus is deeply troubled, and he says, "I tell you for certain that one of you will betray me." And then a little later we read that Jesus' favourite disciple was sitting next to him at the meal, presumably John, who wrote this gospel. And Simon knew that John had his ear and said, "Can you find out from Jesus what the deal is?" This is a story all about friendship. Jesus' pain wasn't just about the cross, it was about being betrayed. And he had his closest friends with him, his best friend next to him. I find it's so easy to assume I'm going to be the one who'll let God down, I'm going to be the failure, I'm going to be the Judas. But as we pray now, think about the fact that you're not the Judas. You are the John, the beloved disciple, sitting next to Jesus with his attention, with his affection. And now let us finish with a prayer in the form of the lyrics of a song that Martin Luther King requested on the very day, just a few moments before he died. "Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I'm tired, I'm weak and worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home." Jesus, take my hand and walk with us.